It's the night of May 21st, 1991, in the town of Sriperumbudur. The atmosphere is loud, dense, and chaotic, exactly what you'd expect at a routine election rally in India. A young woman steps out of the surging crowd. She walks up to the man of the hour, bends down to respectfully touch his feet, and detonates an explosive belt packed with RDX. The target was Rajiv Gandhi. Before this moment, no foreign militant group had ever crossed borders to assassinate a former Indian prime minister, and India had never witnessed a suicide bombing carried out by a woman. In the immediate aftermath, investigators found a crucial piece of evidence amidst the wreckage, an undamaged camera belonging to a local photographer hired to cover the event. The film inside captured the entire sequence of the attack. Those photographs quickly answered who executed the strike: members of the LTTE, a Sri Lankan separatist group. But the images couldn't explain why a foreign militia crossed the ocean to kill him, or how they managed to slip completely past India's intelligence and security apparatus. To understand the motive, we have to rewind to 1987. During his term as Prime Minister, Gandhi made the fateful decision to deploy the Indian peacekeeping force into the neighboring Sri Lankan Civil War. What began as a mission to enforce a peace accord rapidly broke down. The Indian military found itself dragged into a brutal, protracted counterinsurgency war against the heavily armed guerrillas of the LTTE. This animated data map charts the resulting human cost. Over the course of the multi-year occupation, more than 1,100 Indian troops lost their lives. On the ground, the military operations inflicted severe civilian casualties, and human rights groups documented numerous abuses committed by Indian forces against the local Tamil population. The violence of the intervention forged a deep personal hatred in the mind of Vellupillai Pravakaran, the founder and leader of the LTTE. He viewed Gandhi as the direct architect of his people's suffering. The final trigger came 3 years later. In 1990, Gandhi hit the campaign trail and publicly promised that if he were re-elected, he would send the military back to disarm the separatists. In that moment, he became an immediate existential threat that the LTTE leadership decided they had to eliminate. The LTTE had the motive, but getting to a high-profile target required an opening. A government autopsy of the assassination, known as the Verma Commission Report, laid bare exactly how the assassins found one. In early 1990, the government made a fatal bureaucratic calculation. They withdrew Gandhi's elite Special Protection Group cover, and they did it without conducting any fresh threat assessment to see if he was still in danger. By the time Gandhi arrived at the Sriperumbudur rally a year later, the standard protocols for a target of his profile were completely missing. There were no multiple overlapping rings of security to filter the crowd. Instead of being flanked by a highly trained squad of elite Black Cat commandos, Gandhi was left walking through an open, surging crowd with only a single local bodyguard. This extreme vulnerability was widely known inside the government. The director of the Intelligence Bureau, along with senior officials, sent repeated, documented warnings requesting highest-level security for Gandhi. Their requests were ignored. The assassination succeeded through a catastrophic intersection of factors. A highly motivated foreign enemy simply walked through an open door left by domestic bureaucratic failure. The physical hunt for the conspirators required grueling detective work. Without cell phone data or modern digital surveillance, the Special Investigation Team had to rely on physical trailing, in-person chases, and traditional informant networks to track down the primary cell. They were working against the backdrop of an immense national trauma. Gandhi was widely presumed to be India's next prime minister, and his sudden death ripped a massive political vacuum in the country's leadership. While the ground-level assassins were identified, investigators suspected a larger international network helped finance and orchestrate the plot. India formed the Multidisciplinary Monitoring Agency, or MDMA, specifically to hunt down those offshore connections. They spent 24 years chasing international leads and sending letters rogatory to foreign governments. Finally, in 2022, the MDMA was quietly disbanded, leaving the deepest layers of the conspiracy permanently unresolved. The domestic fallout, however, was immediate and permanent. The government completely overhauled its VIP security apparatus to prevent a repeat failure, And the disaster instilled a lasting, systemic caution toward any future military interventions on foreign soil. When geopolitical ambition collides with domestic complacency, the resulting blowback can violently alter a nation's trajectory. The assassination of Rajiv Gandhi stands as a sobering historical monument to that exact calculation.